O-Level History and Culture of Pakistan 2059 P1, 2 Quetzales, May-June 2024. Question A. Describe what happened at the Battle of Kanpur. For marks? Answer. The Battle of Kanpur in 1857 was one of the most tragic events of the War of Independence. British forces, along with women and children, were besieged in a small entrenchment by rebel sepoys led by Nana Sahib. After weeks of suffering, the British accepted Nana Sahib's offer of safe passage down the river to Allahabad. However, as they boarded the boats at Satichura Ghat, they were ambushed and almost all the men were killed. The surviving women and children were taken prisoner and later brutally murdered in an event known as the Bibigarh Massacre, just before British relief forces arrived. Question B. Explain why Urdu was chosen as the national language of the new state of Pakistan in 1947. 7 marks. Answer. Urdu was chosen as the national language of Pakistan primarily for its historical and symbolic role in uniting the Muslims of the subcontinent. During the 19th and 20th centuries, Urdu had become the lingua franca for Muslims across North India and was central to the development of a distinct Muslim cultural and political identity. It was the language of poets like Iqbal and leaders like Jinnah, who used it to communicate with a diverse Muslim population. Choosing Urdu was seen as a way to honor this legacy and provide a unifying cultural symbol for the new nation. Furthermore, Urdu was considered an ethnically neutral choice. Pakistan was composed of several major linguistic groups, including Punjabis, Sindhis, Pashtuns, and Bengalis. Selecting any one of these regional languages as the national language might have created resentment and division among the others. Urdu, while not the native tongue of the majority, was spoken and understood widely as a second language. It was therefore chosen in the hope that it would serve as a neutral, unifying force, bridging ethnic differences and fostering a single national identity for all Pakistanis. Question C. Assess the contributions of religious thinkers to the spread of Islam across the subcontinent between 1700 and 1850. Explain your answer. 14 marks. Answer. The contributions of religious thinkers between 1700 and 1850 were crucial not just for the spread of Islam, but more significantly, for its revival and purification during a period of steep Muslim political decline. The disintegration of the Mughal Empire left the Muslim community fragmented and exposed to non-Islamic cultural influences. Religious thinkers like Shah Waliullah and his follower, Syed Ahmed Barelvi, made monumental contributions by providing the ideological and practical leadership needed to counter this decline and re-energize the Muslim identity. Their work ensured Islam remained a dynamic force in the subcontinent. Shah Waliullah, 1703 to 1762, made an immense intellectual and spiritual contribution. He correctly diagnosed that Muslims were in decline because they had strayed from the fundamental principles of Islam. His most significant act was translating the Holy Quran into Persian, the language of the educated elite, making its teachings accessible for the first time. In his writings, such as Hujjatullah Balaya, he stressed the importance of ijtihad, reasoned interpretation, and sought to bridge sectarian divides, unifying Muslims around core Islamic beliefs. By doing so, he laid a powerful intellectual foundation for an Islamic renaissance, reminding Muslims of their shared heritage and providing a clear path back to their faith. Building directly on Shah Waliullah's teachings, Syed Ahmed Barelvi, 1786 to 1831, translated this intellectual revival into a practical, activist movement. He believed that political power was necessary to protect and implement Islamic principles. His jihad movement was a direct attempt to liberate Muslims in the Punjab and Northwest from oppressive Sikh rule and to establish a state governed by Islamic law. Although his movement ultimately failed with his martyrdom at the Battle of Balakot in 1831, its contribution was profound. It marked the first organized, armed struggle for an Islamic ideal in the subcontinent since the Mughal decline. Together, Shah Waliullah's intellectual groundwork and Syed Ahmed Barelvi's call to action created a powerful legacy. They revived Islamic consciousness, fostered a sense of separate Muslim identity, and inspired future generations, planting the seeds for the later movement for Pakistan.